Hello, dear friends, and welcome to your weekly horoscope for September the 28th through October the 4th. Two major events coming up next week. Saturn and Pluto are turning direct, both of the planets, and this is happening in the sign of Capricorn. So, during this week, we may notice that things are quite intense. There is some kind of force that is either holding us back a little bit, especially at the beginning of the week, because Saturn turns direct on Tuesday. And at the end of the week, things may get more intense, like on an emotional level, when it comes to the feeling of having control or power. All of this can become extremely important because on Sunday, Pluto turns direct, which would mean that we have Saturn stationary at the beginning of the week and Pluto stationary mostly at the end of the week, but you may even start to feel it earlier. So, interesting combination that within 1 week, two planets are turning or changing their direction, and it's all happening in the sign of Capricorn. And what may happen is that this week in particular, some things might be put on hold, or there might be some kind of delays, or something might be reconsidered. But after that, when the planets, both Saturn and Pluto, will be moving forward, or they will be already direct, we may notice that actually some of the things that we've been working on for the past couple of months are actually manifesting on an outer level or bringing us those concrete practical results in the outer world. And this week can be from one side challenging because of those triggers, because of the things that may hold us back, or because we have lots of intense emotions. But after that, things may start to bring more results in the outer world. And you might want to check actually where in your chart do you have the sign of Capricorn. If you are like me and you have your sun in Capricorn, or you have your ascendant or moon there, it's actually quite significant. And this might affect you even stronger on a personal level. If not, even if you don't have your sun or rising sign or the moon there, you still have the sign somewhere in your chart, even if there are no planets there. And it might be helpful actually to check where is this happening in your chart, because this is the area which may go through some kind of transformations, things that could be put on hold for a while, but after that, the things that you've been working on or something that's been happening a little bit like behind the stage or more internally now can bring you the results. And if you are not sure where do you have Capricorn, the sign of Capricorn in your chart, you might use my free birth chart calculator and literally check where is this in your house, which house is this triggering. And the links for that are below the video. Before we get started, I'm also reminding you that you can still sign up for Mars Stars Astrology Academy. We are starting very soon, and this is your real opportunity to learn astrology as a professional, to become a professional astrologer, or to add this as a tool to help people if you are already working in this area. If you have any questions, please don't hesitate to contact me, and also check the link in below the video so that you would learn more information and sign up for the training. Starting from Monday, Venus is very active on Monday, and I would say during the whole week, because later Venus is also changing signs. But on Monday, Venus is still in Leo, and it will have a trine with Mars retrograde. The planet which represents women has a positive connection with the planet which represents men. Even though Mars is retrograde, it's still Mars and it's still in Aries, and Venus is in the fiery sign of Leo, which overall may bring lots of passion, emotions, and stronger desires. It might apply to your personal life and relationships, but of course, it could be related to any other area in your life and everything else that you really want. And this is actually a great time to focus on the things that we want and also take some action about it, especially about things that we have wanted to do in the past, but for whatever reason we didn't do them. With Mars retrograde, it's a great time actually to go back and revisit or eventually take some actions that we have postponed. On the other side, Venus is having a quincunx with Saturn, which can bring more grounded energy, more practicality, more logic when it comes to personal stuff, when it comes to relationships, and also money, financial decisions, or investments. This is an aspect which at first might bring some issues, but eventually, if we are committed and hardworking, we can get some real practical results. And also the moon is in Aquarius almost until noon, which is a great position for socializing, for some kind of community work, or anything that has to do with original way of thinking or a new approach. And after noon, the moon will be already in Pisces, which from one side can make us a little bit more dreamy, a little bit more focused on imagination, but it's also a great position for creativity. Overall, the day looks quite beneficial for almost everything, for business, for relationships, finance. You can see almost everything will flourish on Monday. Then we get to Tuesday, and something very important is happening. Saturn is turning direct, but at the same time, Mars is squaring Saturn. And frankly, this is a tough combination. This combination can bring some kind of delays, some kind of things that we want to accomplish, but for whatever reason, we cannot do them. It's because we have maybe fears, or maybe there are some outer circumstances, or people who have more power. Sometimes even it's about institutions that we have to interact with. Overall, prepare to be extremely patient, especially on Tuesday. And if you are really hardworking and committed, you might get some good results. But overall, I would recommend you to be more patient. And if there is something very important, probably you should leave it for the rest of the week. On Tuesday, we may feel like almost every area of our life is related to some kind of delays or blockages, or frankly, things that are not working in our favor. Mars squaring Saturn while Saturn is being stationary and about to turn direct may really bring some kind of blockages. And overall, it's unfavorable for almost everything. For business, for communication, there could be challenges, especially with authority figures or institutions. For finance and relationships, we might say it's neutral, but with so much tension and blockages, sometimes even in those areas, we might go through some challenges. So be especially careful on Tuesday. The moon in Pisces can make us want to escape, honestly, this tough situation and just try to pretend problems don't exist, or just give ourselves a break. And honestly, I think that giving yourself a break, slowing down a little bit on Tuesday would be actually a very wise decision. Then on Wednesday, we have Mercury in Scorpio having a minor challenging aspect with Neptune in Pisces. Two water signs are triggered, plus Neptune, which is a water planet, which would mean that we might be more emotional than usual, especially with also the moon in Pisces. Our judgment may not be very accurate, our assessments may not be very logical, and be careful with everything that requires logical approach, concrete focus, or focus on details. You might forget about something, or you might be misled. Make sure to check the accuracy of the information, or if you have some document work, definitely check all the details. It's possible you might miss something or misinterpret something, or just forget about something. This position, this combination is positive for something creative, something that requires imagination or a different type of vision and more emotional attachment. And it's, as we can see, not the best day for business or finance or even for communication. It's kind of neutral for relationships, honestly. And it could be actually quite beneficial for spiritual practices and for creativity. Then we get to the 1st of October with the full moon in Aries and Libra. Interesting combination, which also triggers Mars, which is retrograde in Aries. And this is the time to really find the balance between the things that we want, between other people who are important in our life, and honestly, just finding the balance. Relationships are especially important, especially on this day, probably during the whole week as well. And this is the time to really see the results of something we have worked on, to have also a clearer vision, maybe a realization of something, and see things from a different perspective. Venus, which is the ruler of Libra, is also having a creative aspect with Pluto. And this means that there is more emotional intensity, and we might respond from more from emotions than logic. And it's okay as long as we are aware of this. Our desires may become stronger, and we might become more passionate. This is a great aspect also for some kind of financial decisions or purchases or even investments. And overall, the day can be quite intense. Full moons are always intense. You know, there are people who struggle with falling asleep or sometimes overreacting, and that's happening mostly because of the full moon. With Venus and Pluto, even though it's a nice aspect, it still increases the emotionality, the intensity, and we might react in a more irrational way. So keep that in mind, even though the day is beneficial for almost everything: business, finance, relationships, creativity, and even spirituality. Then we get to Friday. This is the day when Venus is changing signs. Venus is moving to Virgo, and this, my friends, is not a comfortable position for Venus. Venus is feeling quite unhappy in Virgo, which from one side sounds like a problem. In reality, it's not a real problem because every position can bring a certain benefit. And with Venus in Virgo, we may find that we are becoming a little bit more logical when it comes to our relationships or our desires or the way we express our emotions. Sometimes we might get too much into the other polarity, like becoming detached and unwilling to share emotions and thinking only about the logical side of things. But this position is actually positive for business stuff or financial decisions and will affect us for the next couple of weeks. The sun is also having a quincunx with Uranus on Friday, and this can bring us lots of dynamic energy, ability to change things, to make some new decisions, to start and initiate new things, and just be more creative about our tasks, about our project. This is a great time to express yourself, to show your individuality, to really do something different. And the moon in Aries is only supporting that. It's like a completely different type of energy, which combined with Uranus is really about self-expression. It's about being yourself and taking some action and sometimes even taking certain risks. And this can be actually quite beneficial. We may see for business and finance. For creativity also, Uranus may help us a lot. And relationships and communication, they are more like neutral areas for Friday, definitely not something bad. It's just not that triggered. It's not that important on Friday. And then we are getting to the weekend. On Saturday, Mercury is having a creative aspect with Jupiter. Interesting aspect which can allow us to look at things from a different perspective and be more optimistic, be more positive, and learn new things or strategize things or make long-term plans. Overall, this can bring success in communication, maybe even in relationships, maybe even in business because the sign Capricorn is triggered a lot. Also, Venus is having a big quintile with Saturn in Capricorn, and this is especially positive for financial decisions and purchases, and also for more logical approach. Actually, here now I realize that it's a little mistake. Venus is not in Leo, Venus is already in Virgo, but we still have the aspect. It's a big quintile. And actually, two earth signs are triggered in a positive way, which can bring more logic, which can also be positive for business decisions, for financial decisions as well. During the morning, the moon is in Aries, which is a wonderful position for some sports, for doing something, for a little bit more energized activity. And after 11 p.m., the moon will ingress Taurus, which is just a nice position to feel comfortable, to maybe relax a little bit, maybe spend a little time on your couch or just do something nice to feel better on a physical level. Literally just take care of your body. And the day could be beneficial for almost every area. And finally, we are getting to Sunday. And as we said, on Sunday, we have one of the most important events during this week, which is Pluto turning direct in Capricorn. Lots of intensity on Sunday because it means that Pluto is stationary, and this can bring us lots of intense emotions, things that are beyond our control, sometimes possible power struggles or exaggeration or more drama than necessary. So be careful on Sunday. This is really kind of a serious transition, and just allow yourself to think more, don't take impulsive decisions. It's actually positive that we have the moon in Taurus because I think that this can kind of balance the situation and bring more stability to the table. So it's not just Pluto bringing the drama and the overreaction. It's about also having patience and taking more logical decisions. From a positive perspective, this Pluto stationary position is actually very supportive to commit to something, to be passionate about something, and to really give your full attention to certain task or activity or whatever you want to do during this day. So with that, my friends, we are finishing our weekly horoscope. I'm reminding you again that you can still sign up for our advanced astrology training, which is about natal astrology. We have so many things prepared for you and incredible bonuses, like, for example, you will get the 2 trainings on backflower remedies as a bonus with this training. You're also getting other free webinars, my ebook, which is not on sale, and this is your only way to get the book. We are really excited. We are getting ready to start really soon. So if you still hesitate, I would like to invite you to join us because we have money back guarantee until the end of October. So if you want to quit, that's fine. You just try it. You see it's not the thing for you. That's fine. You have time to decide for yourself. So check the program, and we would love to have you on board. Thank you for your time. Have a wonderful week, and I will see you next week.